Hola, Señor Macas. I Christian name of Lord Jesus Christ. Hi. Hi. I'm back. So, where do we leave off of the testimony? As you know, I stayed with my mum from after the whole church situation. When I came back from the mental hospital, I stayed with my mum for a couple of weeks. So while I was there, I was staying in the sitting room, and as I was staying there was Todd Bentley talking about, because he was doing like a crusade around 2008 about, like a revival. There was a revival going on during 2009, 2009, I think it was, or was it 2000? I think it was 2008. And during that time, I was staying with my mum, and I was listening to all the prophecies about what's going to happen. He mentioned one thing that stuck in my head. He was talking about Revelation 19, which is when the bridegroom makes herself ready to meet. The bride meets herself to meet the groom. And he was talking about that, like this ring that you would have to, that proposal to the bride, to the groom. And when I said about this ring, like an engagement ring to the Lord Jesus Christ as the bride, and he was talking about that, and I said, oh, I thought to myself, well, that's interesting. And then there was one time when I was watching God TV, this was on God TV, another time I was watching God TV, Wendy Alec and Rory Alec were talking before, while I was writing my Bible scriptures, and she was speaking in a Hebrew tongue, saying, it's not time yet, and she was speaking in the Hebrew tongue, and I was like, what's she on about? And then I didn't realise what I was doing when I was writing the Bible scriptures, that it was like a prophecy that I was doing. So after that, I started writing Bible scriptures from Genesis to Revelation. So as I was writing that every day during the time I stayed with my mom, I decided to go down to Holloway to sell some of my stuff, some of my videos, what I had, in my home. And as I travelled all the way down there, I couldn't get them sold. So then I went back home, and then I said to myself, okay, then I won't buy any more. I won't try and sell my stuff. I will try to, I did sell my stuff, and then I had to buy them back again. But that was like maybe about a year later I did that. I sold some of my videos, and then I rebought them back again. Anyway, carry on. So there was one time when I went down to Holloway, and I wanted some anime cartoons that I wanted to buy, like Digimon, Pokemon, those sort of animated films. So there was this manga cartoon. There was two manga cartoons. There's one called The Guyver, and some other one. I bought another manga cartoon. I can't remember the name of that one on the tip of my tongue. And I bought them. And when I watched the two of them, I didn't think anything of them. When I watched them, I just watched them. And yeah, I didn't think too much of it. And then obviously I couldn't stay at my mum's for much longer because it got kind of hard to live there. Not because of my mum, but because of the neighbours who lived above her. They were making it very hard for me to stay at my mum's. So I spent another week there, and then one time when I was when my pens and paper had run out, I was going to get some pens and paper to continue writing the Bible scriptures down. And as I went down Upper Holloway, I went past this tattoo shop, and there was like a knight and a dragon. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. When I saw that, I thought I was a bit taken back when I saw that. So I remember just staring at it for a long time. What does that mean? I thought, is it Jesus' judgment on the world? I didn't know. but I was a bit scared when I saw it. And then I went to go get my pens and papers, and I carried on writing the Bible scriptures. So then my mum said, why don't we go to Global Lights, because Global Lights has, it's a church what was praying for me when I was in the mental hospital. So basically I went with her, and the prophet called me down. He said, you're going to be a man of God, and that was it. And then I know when me and my mum went home, we was talking, so I wonder what it could be, and obviously I didn't know what it was. And as I finished the time when I went back home, I think this is when, that bendy bus, the 29 bendy bus, where people weren't paying their bus fare. I was on that, because I had to leave because I was staying at my mum's, and they were their neighbours above my mum's house were stamping on my head. They were stamping on my head. So then I had to leave because they were like keeping me up. So I left. I ran out of the house like maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I went home, travelled. And then my mum, when I got home, she said, why did you leave? I said, Mum, they were stamping on my head, they were jumping on my head when I was sleeping. And I said, oh, it just, in a spiteful way. And I said, yeah, Mum, that's why I came home. So I stayed at home, and then that was it really. And then anything else, what happened? I stayed at my mum. 2009 came, and I wanted to go back to church again. I went to this church. This is my third church now. Where was this church I went to? I went to about two. One was a Jehovah's Witness place where I was there for about 8 months. And then the other one was a White Garment church. So I'll tell you a bit about the White Garment church. So this was in 2009. And I was going there, see, and they were all wearing all white, and I was the odd one out. And then I stayed there for 5 weeks there. And as I was there weren't very a lot of friendly people in this black White Garment church. They weren't really friendly. But I didn't see myself staying the duration. Like I said, I was only there for 5 weeks. But there was a play there that really stuck out to me. I noticed it was in one of the Mango anime cartoons. It had a bit of the prophecy from that film. And I was like, oh, this is from the cartoon video that I bought, with the 2 Mango videos I bought. And I watched, and then I stormed out of the building, because I couldn't believe that was in the film, and it came into reality, So I went home, and they gave me some of this chicken and rice and drink, and then I went home. And I went there one last time at the youth meeting. This is in the youth meeting I went to. And I was there for, I think I can't remember what I was talking about. They were talking about a youth meeting. I think there was like a debate they were talking about. And I said, why do we have to pray for our, pay for our prayers to have money, pray for our prayers to, pray, do a seed and pay for it, And there was a big debate going on about that when I was there. So I started a debate, and then everyone was talking about it. It was a really, a good time when I was debating with people. But during this time, I wasn't looking like a man of God. I was looking very, just not looking good, basically. And that went on for a long, because I think what it was is because I was so traumatized from the first 2 churches, the Ghanaian Church District Pentecostal Church in Archway, and the Dominion Church in Wood Green, that by the 3rd church I went to, I wasn't in a good state, So then I went to the Jehovah's Witness. I met this man called Dan, and he was a Jehovah's Witness, and he kind of knew about my life story. He knew about me, about what God was going to be doing with me, but I had no clue at that time, because I was only like maybe about 24 years old. So I didn't really, I think, no, sorry. Yeah, I think I was 24, 25. And I didn't understand what was going on with me because there was so much happening and I couldn't get to process everything, you know. So he used to pick me up from the Jehovah's Witness place, and then I used to go there looking half like a, well, just put it this way, looking really scruffy. So I went there for 5 weeks, and I was there for 9 months, and they were pleasant to me in the Jehovah's Witness place. They were really nice people. I did love going there, and I didn't have any trouble in this church, this Jehovah's Witness church. I didn't have any, because they were more like, you know, they had good ways about them. There's the only thing they don't support. They look at Jehovah, not Jesus. So there was one time what made me didn't want to stay there, because I was having like some bad sleeping problems. And I just said to one of the people, could you pray for me because I'm not sleeping? And then he said, why would you need someone to pray for you? And then, boom, I said to myself, I'm getting out of this church, because for anyone who's having a problem, you will sit there and pray for that individual and pray for them. But he didn't want to pray for me, and that's what made me not want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore. That was the defining moment when I said, that's it, I'm not coming back to this Jehovah's Witness place. And then I left, and then I left the White Garment Church as well, because that was only 5 weeks there. And then I left the Jehovah's Witness after 9 months. So that's pretty much it for now. I'm gonna break this up into the next part. So I'm gonna move on to 2010 and 2010 and 2009. That was in 2009 and 10. Okay, there's one more thing I didn't tell you about. After I left the White Garment Church after the 5 weeks and the Jehovah's Witness for 9 months, guess what I went to? You wouldn't believe what I went to. I went back to the Ghanaian church. The church that abused me, remember? The church that abused me. I went back there because I wanted to meet some people that I liked. There was like those 2 people, that girl and that guy who I thought were my friends. I wanted to get their phone number and to leave again. So I did see them when I went back there, and I was only there for the day. And then after I had left, they were all nice to me, like they hadn't done anything to me. I was there for the one day, and then I left again for the 3rd time. And then, like a retarded idiot again, I went a 4th time for a year. And then I think I got baptized there, and then I left again. And then that was it. So in fact, I've left that Ghanaian church 4 times. 1 in 2007, 1 in 2009, and 1 in 2010. Yeah, I was there. So maybe, sorry, it's 3 times. Sorry, it's 3 times. 3 times. I left after I got baptized there, you know. And so this is where there was a big turnaround for me now. After I left the Ghanaian church the 3rd time, guess what happened? My mum was telling me about. Actually, I think I'll save that for the next video, because I think I'm going into 2011 now. So I want to save that for my next video. But this is quite a lot of random stuff in the testimony. But yeah, I just wanted to just give you an update about everything what you've heard just now. So I'm going to save that one, what happened in 2011 and 2012, for the next video. So tune into that one very soon. That one will probably be in June. So look out for that when I post that on YouTube. So goodbye for now, and God bless you. Bye bye.